So let's start today in a seat of your choice. Just make sure you're comfortable. If you're really feeling like it a little bit tired, you can always come down onto your back. Just make sure you don't fall asleep, and if you do, you likely need more sleep, and that's okay too. Right. So welcome again. My name is Colin, and I'll be teaching your yin class today. So begin by just settling in. Hands can be gently over your knees, palms facing down, or palms facing up, receiving energy. Roll your shoulders down and back. Begin to connect to your breath. The next hour is for you to really sink into today's practice and just take a little self-care for yourself so that you can give back to those around you. Nice deep inhale and exhale. Try breathing through your nose if you don't have any blockages. But if you need to breathe through your mouth, that's okay. Just make it mindful and slow, trying to slow the breath down. And we're going to do a short body scan starting at the top of our head. And as we go from the top down to our toes, we're just looking and scanning in for any places of tension, any places that feel good. When you notice any particular areas that need your attention, just send a little bit of love and kindness to those areas by just breathing and being aware of what the sensations are. So at the top of your head, the forehead, relaxing the eyebrows, the center, the nose and the eyelids, just let them rest, your cheekbones, the lips, moving around to the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders, back up to the jaw, release any tension in the jaw, but just by breathing into it. The throat, the collarbones, both shoulders and upper arms, both elbows, forearms, both hands, all 10 fingers. The back, the upper back, mid-back and lower back, and in the front on our chest, our belly, sending love and kindness to these areas. Your hips, feeling rooted to the earth with your tailbone, your sit bones, your thighs and your knees, the calves and shins, your ankles, heels, soles of the feet, top of the feet, and all 10 toes. If you've practiced Yoga Nidra through your course with my Vinyasa practice, you're familiar with just bringing awareness into all parts of the body, kind of like we did with our body scan. Now just take a moment to breathe in through your whole body. Today's focus is relieving stress and tension. Yin Yoga is influenced a lot by Chinese medicine and kind of massaging into the pressure points and the meridians, which really can help with tension. Gradually open your eyes, and we're going to come into our Gomukhasana, so shoelace legs. So we're going to bring the left knee over top of the right knee. Now just wiggle yourself around a little bit. So starting in that shoelace pose, again, your left knee is coming over top of your right knee. So for shoelace, our first yin posture of today's practice, try and wiggle around. It might not be possible for you to get both knees stacked, and if that's the case, just lift, extend your right leg long, and just do half shoelace. Otherwise, coming into that full shape, however it looks for you, maybe rolling your shoulders down and back. We're just going to do a little bit of neck movement here, so dropping the left ear to the left shoulder. Breathe here. Slowly roll the chin down, head tucks, chin towards chest. And here you can put a little bit of traction, pulling the back of the head away, elongating, lengthening the neck, feeling a nice deep stretch, letting gravity sink you deeper into this neck stretch if your neck is feeling okay. Gently release the hands. Bring the right ear slowly over towards the right shoulder, feeling the stretch in the left side of the neck. And gently just draw a U shape, a smiling face with your nose to the left and to the left, to the right, just swaying back and forth gently. No quick movements, everything nice and slow. And then bring your head back to center and up slowly. We're going to inhale, lift the hands up. And as we exhale, we're going to begin our first forward fold. And you might want to bring a prop into the picture here. So take a moment if you want a pillow or a block to support you as we're going to sink into this pose. So if your knees aren't touching, you can always bring it between the two knees, or putting a prop on the knee, or as I will be doing, in front. So as you fold at the hips, starting with a straight back, as far as you can go, inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, rounding into this pose, sinking deeper. You can do it without any props and just hang here. We'll be spending a couple minutes. Your chin can come to the knee if it's able to. You might just be like this, and that's fine too. Or you might choose a block to rest the forehead on. I will be stopping instructions and letting you sink into this pose. Notice where your mind goes, any emotions that are coming up, and then try and catch yourself and bring yourself back into this moment, into this pose. halfway there, just another minute. And on your next inhale, gently bring your palms back to the earth if they're not already there, and as slow as you can, bring yourself up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Because we're holding the poses longer, it might be a little bit more challenging. Just come out of the pose and breathe here. Now there's two ways we're going to switch. We want our right knee now on top, so we can either unshoelace our legs and re-shoelace them, or we can just come over to the right and just gently walk our hands, doing a full 360. Your choice. You can always just stay seated and switch, because you now want your right knee on top of your left. Again, half shoelace would now be extending the right leg long, if that's easier for you. If you can, going into full shoelace on this side, Gomukhasana legs. And just sink in, notice if your hips are uneven and try and see if you can center them a little bit. With shoelace pose, we're really getting into the gallbladder meridians, and so it will feel something going on there, and that's okay. Just make sure that it's not painful. Doing just another neck roll, so slowly bring the left ear to the left shoulder, feeling the stretch down the right side. This time we're going to intensify it just a bit by extending our right arm. And again, if you have any neck troubles, just meditate in Gomukhasana legs. And if you can, maybe adding some traction, lengthening rather than pressing down. We're not staying in these neck stretches too long. So on your next exhale, bring the chin down, and this time make the hand go towards the top of the hand, and look down towards the left armpit. And release the head all the way down. Maybe rolling the shoulders, maybe adding a little bit of a deeper stretch by adding both hands clasped over top of the back of the neck. And then gently transition to the right armpit, so the chin comes towards the right armpit, looking down to, maybe you can see your right heel or right leg, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. Always the option to intensify by closing the eyes. And now bring your right ear to the right shoulder. And it doesn't have to come as far down, it can just be a little movement to a little bit of a stretch. Well, you might move a little bit and it might be a much deeper stretch. All bodies are different. Awesome. Coming up, wiggle the toes if you need to. And same thing, we're going to do our forward fold here with the legs flipped. So get whatever prop you need handy. Inhale, lengthen through the spine from the Tailbone, sit bone all the way to the crown of the head, hinging at the hips, gently and with ease, coming down, nice and slow. On every inhale, we're lengthening. And on your exhale, we're sinking deeper in, maybe rounding the back, coming down. You might stay here, you might continue your journey. Remember, in Yin Yoga, we're going to the point where we feel a nice stretch. If we feel pain, come out of the pose because we will be staying here for a couple minutes. Maybe one side is a little bit different sensations than the other. And just breathe here. Again, if you're closing your eyes, getting into that mindfulness, notice your thoughts, and if something negative comes up, anger, boredom, just treat those emotions like you would treat a crying baby who is in pain, being the mother or the father, to just comfort that baby and be with it rather than trying to ignore it or get rid of it, and just be with that young child or pet and allow it. And come back to the breath. Almost there, one more minute. And on your next inhale, slowly planting the palms and bringing yourself up. Breathing deeply. The moment we've been waiting for. Uncross your legs, and we're going to slowly transition into our counter pose, down dog, downward facing dog. If that doesn't feel right for you today, feel free to just take puppy posture, so kind of like down dog, but just on your knees. And again, transition nice and slow. This pose should feel really nice after all that folding and all that work in the hips, the groin, the psoas, the back muscles. I'm walking it out just a little bit, and then I'm finding some stillness in my downward facing dog. Or for those of you, if you're choosing puppy, down on your knees like this. Your choice. Our next yin pose after downward facing dog is going to be extended balasana, child's pose. So that's something you can look forward to. But stay in your down dog a little bit longer, reaching the heels towards the earth, feeling a deep stretch in the calves, the hamstrings, back of the legs. Feel your palms rooted into the earth, all 10 fingers. Slight external rotation so that the creases of the elbows are starting to come forward just a little bit. Hips are pressing up towards the sky. Gaze can be closed eyes or looking towards the back of your mat or between the knees. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, slowly start to come down. The knees are going to touch the edges of the mat. The big toes are going to touch together, creating a nice space for our extended child's pose, rocking a little bit forwards and backwards. And when you're ready, gently sinking down. Bring the hips towards the heels. The arms stay extended long. And feeling the stretch in the shoulders and armpits as maybe we bring our head to rest, maybe bringing a pillow to rest on. And just stay here. This balasana is still an active pose. We're still stretching deep into our thighs, into our hips, into our shoulders. So don't discount the benefit of this pose, this more restorative pose. And breathe into sensations. If you need more, if that's what your body's craving, tent your hands up and to the back of the neck like a shark fin, and then walk your elbows further towards the front. Staying here for a couple minutes. awareness back to the breath. If it got lost, intensify the breath and slowly walk your hands back towards the knees. We're going to come up for a little transition onto toe stand. So tuck your toes and bring the hips to meet with the heels. You can stay here if your legs are your feet, if your feet are a bit more sensitive. Or you can take full toe stand, coming on fully weighted onto your soles of the feet, rolling your shoulders up and away, feeling that deep stretch. And just breathe here. Close your eyes. We're only here for a minute. Breathing deeply. Bring your shoulder blades to pinch a little bit closer in the back, so we're opening up our chest as well, countering some of our folds. Excellent if you're working at a desk a lot, and just breathe here. Continue focusing on your breath as we bring today's practice to a close. Bring up your intentions and try and bring the level of calmness into the rest of your day. Thank you, and I look forward to joining you again. Namaste.